Have you ever stopped, fork halfway to your mouth, and wondered if the very vegetables you're diligently eating for your health might be doing more harm than good? It's a common narrative as we age. Load up on those greens, they're the cornerstone of a healthy diet. But what if some of these seemingly virtuous vegetables are actually wreaking havoc on our digestive systems, leading to discomfort and long-term health issues? The truth, as many are beginning to realize, is that not all vegetables are created equal. Certain types can be surprisingly difficult for our bodies to process, leading to bloating, inflammation, and a host of other unwelcome complications, especially for those of us who have accumulated a few more years and perhaps a few more digestive sensitivities. Let me tell you about John, a spry 72-year-old retiree living in sunny Florida. John was the epitome of health conscious. Every morning, he'd start his day with a green smoothie packed with spinach and kale. Lunch was often a hearty salad brimming with broccoli and bell peppers, and dinner invariably featured some form of steamed vegetables. John diligently followed all the advice about eating his 5 a day, and yet, for the past few years, he'd been plagued by persistent digestive issues. He'd experience uncomfortable bloating after meals, frequent bouts of acid reflux that kept him up at night, and a nagging, inexplicable joint pain that made his morning walks less enjoyable. John visited his doctor multiple times, underwent various tests, but the results always came back inconclusive. "You're in great shape for your age, John," his doctor would say, often attributing his symptoms to the vague and unhelpful label of age-related discomfort. Frustrated and increasingly uncomfortable, John started keeping a food diary, meticulously noting everything he ate and how it made him feel. It was then, almost by accident, that he began to notice a pattern. His worst flare-ups often followed meals that were particularly rich in certain types of vegetables. This brings us to a crucial point that many older adults are starting to realize: some foods, even those traditionally considered healthy, might be worth a second look for the sake of better digestion and long-term well-being. You might be surprised by some of the culprits, as they are often lauded for their nutritional benefits. However, for a mature digestive system, they can sometimes pose a challenge, negatively impacting gut health and overall vitality. If you've ever experienced unexplained bloating, persistent acid reflux, or joint pain that seems to come and go without reason, your vegetable choices might be playing a more significant role than you think. And if you find this information helpful and want to follow more similar content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on my channel right now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. So, stick with me as we delve deeper into this topic. This isn't just about identifying foods to avoid, it's about making informed choices that empower you to feel better, healthier, and more energized as you navigate your golden years. We'll break down 6 specific types of vegetables that older adults should consider moderating, explaining the reasons behind their potential to cause problems, and, importantly, offering some delicious and easily digestible alternatives. If you're truly serious about improving your digestion and long-term health, you won't want to miss this. Let's get started. 1. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. One of the biggest misconceptions many older adults have when it comes to diet is the assumption that all vegetables offer the same level of benefit. While it's true that vegetables are generally nutrient powerhouses, certain families can present digestive challenges, and the brassica family, also known as cruciferous vegetables, often tops that list. This includes popular choices like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. Now, don't get me wrong. These vegetables are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber, which are undoubtedly essential for good health. However, they can also be some of the most difficult to digest, particularly for older adults. Their high fiber content, coupled with sulfur compounds, can lead to significant bloating, gas, and general digestive discomfort. As we age, our digestive systems may not be as robust as they once were, producing fewer digestive enzymes and experiencing slower motility. If you've ever enjoyed a plate of steamed broccoli or a hearty cabbage salad and found yourself feeling uncomfortably full or experiencing stomach cramps shortly thereafter, you're certainly not alone. The issue with brassica vegetables lies partly in a type of carbohydrate they contain called raffinose. This complex sugar is not easily broken down by the human digestive system. When it reaches the large intestine undigested, it becomes a feast for the gut bacteria, which ferment it and produce gas as a byproduct. While this process isn't inherently harmful, it can be incredibly uncomfortable, especially if your digestive system has become more sensitive with age. Many older adults also experience slower digestion overall, meaning these foods linger in the stomach and intestines for a longer period, increasing the likelihood of bloating and gas. Another concern with brassica vegetables is their potential impact on thyroid function. These vegetables contain compounds known as goitrogens, which can interfere with the absorption of iodine. Iodine is a crucial element for the production of thyroid hormones, which play a vital role in regulating metabolism, energy levels, and overall well-being. While this might not be an issue for everyone, older adults who already have thyroid problems, such as hypothyroidism and underactive thyroid, should be particularly cautious about consuming large amounts of these vegetables. Even if you don't have a diagnosed thyroid condition, consistently high consumption of goitrogenic vegetables over time could potentially contribute to hormonal imbalances, leaving you feeling fatigued and sluggish. This doesn't necessarily mean you have to completely eliminate these nutritious vegetables from your diet. However, paying attention to portion sizes and preparation methods can make a significant difference in how your body tolerates them. For instance, lightly steaming or roasting these vegetables instead of eating them raw can help to soften the tough fibers and reduce their impact on digestion. Chewing them thoroughly also aids in the initial breakdown process. But if you consistently experience digestive distress after eating brassica vegetables, it might be best to limit your intake or consider replacing them with more easily digestible options like zucchini, bell peppers, or carrots, which tend to be gentler on the stomach, especially later in the day. Remember John from Florida? He realized that his beloved broccoli was a major contributor to his bloating. By switching to steamed green beans and roasted bell peppers, he noticed a significant improvement in his digestive comfort. What you eat should make you feel good, not heavy and lethargic. If you're experiencing digestive issues and haven't considered brassica vegetables as a potential cause, perhaps it's time to take a closer look at how your body reacts to them. Knowing which foods work for you and which don't is one of the most empowering steps you can take towards maintaining your health as you age. 2. Tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, and potatoes. Moving on to our second category, the vegetables that older adults might want to moderate are those belonging to the nightshade family. This group includes seemingly innocuous staples like tomatoes, eggplants, peppers, both sweet and hot, and potatoes, excluding sweet potatoes. Most people don't give these vegetables a second thought, as they are so commonly incorporated into our daily meals. However, if you're experiencing issues with joint pain, inflammation, or digestive upset, certain nightshade vegetables might not be your best friends. These vegetables contain compounds called alkaloids, such as solanine, found in potatoes and eggplants, and capsaicin in peppers, which can be inflammatory and irritating, particularly in older adults who may already have existing conditions like arthritis or other inflammatory diseases. Mary, a vibrant 68-year-old who enjoyed gardening and cooking, had been struggling with persistent knee pain for years. She attributed it to arthritis, as her doctor had suggested. She took over-the-counter pain relievers and tried various creams, but the relief was always temporary. One day, while talking to a friend about her diet, she mentioned her love for fresh tomato salads and her frequent use of bell peppers in her cooking. Her friend, who had done some research on dietary inflammation, suggested she try reducing her intake of nightshade vegetables. Mary was skeptical, but willing to try anything for some relief. Over the next few weeks, Mary consciously limited her consumption of tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. To her surprise, she started noticing a gradual but significant reduction in her knee pain. She was able to move more freely and her morning stiffness lessened considerably. While she didn't eliminate nightshades entirely, moderating her intake made a noticeable difference in her quality of life. Tomatoes and other nightshade vegetables have been linked to increased inflammation in some individuals, explains Dr. Emily Carter, a nutritionist specializing in senior health. If you suffer from arthritis, joint stiffness, or unexplained aches and pains, it's possible that nightshade vegetables are exacerbating the situation without you even realizing it. Many older adults who reduce their consumption of these vegetables report feeling less joint stiffness, improved mobility, and overall greater comfort. Another issue with nightshade vegetables is their potential to contribute to acid reflux and digestive problems. Tomatoes and peppers, for instance, are highly acidic, which can be troublesome for older adults with pre-existing GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, or sensitive stomachs. If you frequently experience heartburn after eating tomato-based dishes like pasta sauce or salsa, the acidity might be a contributing factor. While many people associate acid reflux with spicy foods or caffeine, acidic vegetables can be just as problematic. Potatoes, on the other hand, can affect blood sugar levels. White potatoes have a relatively high glycemic index, meaning they can cause a rapid spike in blood glucose. Over time, frequent consumption of high glycemic foods can contribute to insulin resistance or make blood sugar control more challenging for older adults managing diabetes. Substituting white potatoes with lower glycemic options like sweet potatoes or cauliflower mash can be a smart choice. Of course, this doesn't mean you have to completely banish all nightshade vegetables from your plate. They do offer valuable nutrients. Tomatoes, for example, are a good source of lycopene, an antioxidant linked to various health benefits. Peppers are rich in vitamin C. The key, as with many things in nutrition, is moderation and paying attention to your body's individual response. If you're experiencing inflammation, joint pain, or digestive issues, it might be worth considering a temporary reduction in nightshade vegetables to see if it makes a difference. Many people find that taking a break from them, even for just a few weeks, can lead to noticeable improvements. If you decide to continue eating nightshades, like Mary did, in moderation, try cooking them thoroughly rather than eating them raw. This can help to break down some of the compounds that might be causing you discomfort. 3. Onions and garlic. Our third category brings us to the flavorful duo of onions and garlic. These are considered kitchen staples by most, adding depth and zest to countless favorite dishes. But while they are fantastic for seasoning our food, onions and garlic can also be surprisingly irritating to the digestive system, particularly for older adults. If you've ever experienced uncomfortable bloating, acid reflux, or general stomach upset after a meal, these pungent vegetables might be the culprits. Tom, a 78-year-old widower who enjoyed cooking for himself, often incorporated onions and garlic into his simple, home-cooked meals. He noticed that after eating, he would frequently experience heartburn and a feeling of fullness that lingered for hours. He initially dismissed it as just getting old, but the discomfort was becoming increasingly bothersome. He started to wonder if his beloved cooking companions might be the source of his woes. It turns out Tom's suspicion was valid. Vegetables like onions and garlic, while packed with beneficial compounds, contain potent sulfur compounds and fermentable fibers that can be tough on a sensitive digestive tract. This can lead to bloating, gas, and even irritation of the stomach lining. One of the biggest issues with raw onions and garlic is their potential to trigger acid reflux. They can relax the lower esophageal sphincter, the muscle that prevents stomach acid from flowing back up into the esophagus. This means that after consuming dishes with raw onions or garlic, you might be more prone to experiencing that familiar burning sensation in your chest. Bloating or a burning sensation in the chest can be particularly problematic for older adults who are already dealing with GERD. Consuming these vegetables in their raw form can exacerbate their symptoms. Another issue is that onions and garlic contain fructans, a type of fermentable carbohydrate that can be difficult for some people to digest, especially those with sensitive stomachs or irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. Fructans are not easily broken down by the body and can lead to bloating and gas as they ferment in the gut. If you've ever felt that uncomfortable, distended feeling after eating a dish with a lot of onions or garlic, it's likely due to these compounds. Some older adults might even experience more severe digestive reactions, such as abdominal pain or diarrhea, after consuming these vegetables. This happens because the bacteria in the gut ferment fructans very quickly, leading to a rapid production of gas. The result is that uncomfortable, bloated feeling that can last for hours, leaving you feeling sluggish and heavy. So, does this mean you have to completely eliminate onions and garlic from your diet? Not necessarily. The key lies in how you prepare them. Cooking onions and garlic can help to break down some of the sulfur compounds and fructans, making them more easily digestible. Many people find that using cooked onions or sautéed garlic instead of raw significantly reduces their digestive discomfort. Similarly, garlic-infused oil can provide flavor without the same digestive impact as fresh garlic. If you're experiencing acid reflux, bloating, or stomach pain and haven't considered onions and garlic as a potential trigger, it might be worth experimenting with them. Try reducing your intake, opting for cooked versions, and paying attention to how your body responds. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you can still enjoy the flavors you love without the digestive distress. 4. Corn and other difficult-to-digest starches. Our fourth category focuses on corn and other vegetables that contain starches that can be difficult for older adults to digest. Corn is a staple in many diets, enjoyed in various forms like fresh corn on the cob, popcorn, and tortillas. But what many don't realize is that corn, along with other starchy vegetables, can be particularly problematic for older digestive systems. The outer layer of corn kernels is made of cellulose, a type of fiber that the human body cannot fully break down. This means that for many older adults, eating corn can lead to bloating, gas, and even undigested corn passing through their system, leaving them feeling heavy and sluggish after meals. If you've ever noticed corn kernels in your stool after eating, that's a clear sign that your body is having trouble digesting it completely. Unlike some other vegetables that break down more easily, corn often passes through the digestive tract largely unchanged, which can lead to discomfort, especially for those with slower digestive transit times. The high fiber content, while generally beneficial, can also be overwhelming for some older adults, especially when consumed in large quantities. Take Nancy, a vibrant 70-year-old who always enjoyed corn as part of her meals. But over the years, she started experiencing more frequent bloating and stomach discomfort, particularly after eating corn on the cob or popcorn. She initially chalked it up to just getting older, but after reducing her corn intake and replacing it with more easily digestible options like cooked zucchini and carrots, she noticed a significant improvement. Her stomach felt lighter, and she no longer experienced that heavy, lethargic feeling after eating. Popcorn can be even more challenging to digest due to its rough texture and the indigestible hulls, which can irritate the digestive tract. It's often not a good choice for those with sensitive stomachs or diverticulosis, a condition that many older adults develop as they age, where small pouches form in the colon and can become inflamed or irritated. If you've ever experienced discomfort after eating popcorn, your body might be telling you it's having a hard time processing it. Beyond digestion, corn also has a relatively high glycemic index, meaning it can cause a rapid spike in blood sugar levels. While not as dramatic as processed sugar or white bread, corn still converts to sugar fairly quickly in the body. For older adults managing diabetes or insulin resistance, frequent consumption of corn can make blood sugar control more difficult. Opting for lower glycemic vegetables like leafy greens, bell peppers, or cucumbers can provide similar nutritional benefits without the same negative impact on digestion and blood sugar. If you enjoy corn, moderation is key. Having a small amount occasionally probably won't cause major issues, but relying on it as a staple might not be the best choice for your digestive health and overall well-being. Choosing cooked, easily digestible vegetables will help you avoid that bloated, uncomfortable, and tired feeling after meals. Pay attention to how certain starchy vegetables affect your body and you'll likely notice a significant difference in how you feel day to day. 5. Spinach and other high oxalate greens. Moving on to our fifth category, we have leafy greens and other vegetables high in oxalates, like spinach. These are often lauded as some of the healthiest vegetables you can eat, packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. However, what many don't realize is that for older adults, particularly those prone to kidney stones or who have issues with calcium absorption, spinach and other high oxalate greens can pose a problem. Oxalates are naturally occurring compounds found in certain vegetables, and while they are generally harmless in small amounts, consuming too many oxalate-rich foods can contribute to the formation of kidney stones and hinder the body's ability to absorb essential minerals like calcium. If you've ever experienced the excruciating pain of kidney stones, you know how debilitating these small mineral deposits can be. They form in the kidneys when certain substances, like oxalate, bind with calcium instead of being eliminated from the body. Spinach is one of the highest oxalate-containing foods, which means that for individuals who are already susceptible to kidney stones, regular consumption of spinach can increase their risk of developing them. If you have a history of kidney stones or have been advised to reduce your oxalate intake, limiting your consumption of spinach and similar greens might be a wise decision. William, a fit 73-year-old, thought he was making a healthy choice by eating a spinach salad almost every day. He never considered that something considered so good for you could be causing him trouble. After experiencing several recurring kidney stones, his doctor advised him to minimize his intake of high oxalate foods. He switched to lower oxalate greens like romaine lettuce and kale, and since making that change, he hasn't experienced the debilitating pain of kidney stones. Another issue with high oxalate greens is their impact on calcium absorption. Oxalates can bind to calcium in the gut, preventing the body from properly absorbing this crucial mineral. Over time, this can contribute to weakened bones, a significant concern for older adults who are already at higher risk of osteoporosis. Maintaining strong bones is vital for preventing fractures and maintaining mobility. Ensuring your body absorbs enough calcium is just as important as getting enough calcium in your diet. If you're eating plenty of greens like spinach but not absorbing calcium efficiently, you might not be getting the full benefit of your efforts. This doesn't mean you need to completely avoid leafy greens. They are still incredibly nutritious. The key is to choose the right types. Instead of relying heavily on spinach, you can opt for lower oxalate alternatives like kale, arugula, or bok choy. These options still provide a wealth of nutrients without the high oxalate content that can put a strain on your kidneys or interfere with mineral absorption. Furthermore, pairing oxalate-containing foods with sources of calcium, like dairy products or fortified plant-based milks, can help to reduce the risk of kidney stone formation by allowing the oxalates to bind with calcium in the gut before they reach the kidneys. As we age, making small adjustments to our diet can have a big impact on how we feel and our ability to stay active and healthy. If you're dealing with kidney stones, concerned about bone density, or experiencing digestive issues, paying attention to oxalates might be one of the smartest dietary changes you can make. It's not about eliminating healthy foods entirely, but about making informed choices that support your long-term health. 6. Legumes, beans, lentils, peas. For our sixth and final category, we turn our attention to legumes, including beans of all kinds, black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, lentils, and peas. While often praised for their high protein and fiber content, legumes can be notoriously difficult for some older adults to digest, leading to significant gas and bloating. Consider Sarah, a vibrant 65-year-old who was trying to incorporate more plant-based protein into her diet. She started adding beans to her salads and making lentil soup regularly. While she appreciated the nutritional benefits, she found herself constantly battling uncomfortable gas and bloating after her meals. She wondered if her body was simply not adjusting to the increased fiber. The issue with legumes lies in their high content of complex carbohydrates called oligosaccharides, particularly raffinose and stachyose. Similar to the raffinose found in brassica vegetables, our bodies lack the enzyme needed to break down these sugars in the small intestine. As a result, they travel undigested to the large intestine, where they are fermented by gut bacteria, producing significant amounts of gas. For older adults who may already experience slower digestion and a less robust gut microbiome, this fermentation process can be particularly problematic. The increased gas production can lead to uncomfortable bloating, abdominal cramps, and flatulence. While these symptoms are usually not serious, they can be socially awkward and significantly impact one's quality of life. Furthermore, the high fiber content of legumes, while generally beneficial for promoting regularity, can also be overwhelming for some older adults, especially if they are not used to consuming large amounts of fiber. Introducing too much fiber too quickly can lead to digestive distress. This doesn't mean you have to completely avoid legumes. They are a valuable source of protein, fiber, and essential nutrients. However, there are ways to make them more digestible. Soaking dried beans overnight before cooking them can help to reduce their oligosaccharide content. Rinsing canned beans thoroughly before use can also help. Cooking legumes thoroughly until they are very soft is also crucial for easier digestion. Furthermore, starting with smaller portions and gradually increasing your intake can allow your digestive system to adapt. Certain types of lentils, like red lentils, tend to be more easily digestible than larger beans. You might also consider trying digestive aids like over-the-counter enzymes that help break down complex carbohydrates. Ultimately, paying attention to how your body responds to legumes is key. If you consistently experience significant digestive discomfort after eating them, it might be wise to moderate your intake or explore other sources of plant-based protein that are gentler on your system, such as tofu, tempeh, or quinoa. Listening to your body's wisdom. Now that we've explored these 6 types of vegetables, take a moment to reflect on how your diet might be impacting your digestion and overall well-being. Vegetables are undoubtedly an essential part of a healthy eating plan, but as we've seen, not all vegetables are created equal, especially as we age. Certain types can be more challenging for our mature digestive systems, leading to discomfort, inflammation, or other unwanted effects that can leave us feeling sluggish rather than energized. However, by being mindful of our choices and paying attention to how our bodies react to different foods, we can navigate these potential challenges and continue to enjoy a vibrant and healthy life for many years to come. If you've been struggling with persistent bloating, acid reflux, joint pain, or even kidney stones, perhaps it's time to take a closer look at your vegetable intake. Small adjustments, like reducing your consumption of brassica vegetables, moderating your intake of nightshades, being mindful of onions and garlic, limiting starchy vegetables like corn, choosing lower oxalate greens, and preparing legumes properly, can make a significant difference in how you feel. The good news is that for every vegetable that might cause trouble, there are always delicious and nutritious alternatives that can provide the nutrients you need without the unwanted side effects. Your body is constantly sending you signals, and paying attention to how you feel after eating certain foods can empower you to make healthier choices that support your long-term well-being. Ultimately, the goal isn't just to eat healthy, but to eat in a way that makes you feel your best and supports your vitality as you continue to embrace life to the fullest.